So during this training, you're going to learn about three things. First, we're going to do a review of the performance feedback that we've already discussed and what we've learned so far out of getting feedback from you. Secondly, we're going to show you how to use HRP to collect monthly ratings. And lastly, we'll talk about next steps. So first, what have we learned so far? The characteristics of an effective review is the first thing we want to review with you. First, it's to have a two-way conversation between you as a leader and the employee. Unlike many organizations where employee feedback is just about us telling them about an employee about their performance, it's an opportunity for you to create a connection and have a two-way conversation with your employee. We really ask that you partner with your employee to talk about things that are important to you, as well as they get a chance to communicate what's important to them. Secondly, we're looking for these to be honest and to be making a connection with your employee. We want you to really go deep and talk about what's in the hearts and minds of your employees, not just what's on the words on the page. Thirdly, we want you to talk to an employee the way that you want to be talked to. Remember the old adage of do unto others if you want others to do to you. We really ask that you're conscious about how you deliver information to your employees, especially if it's difficult information. We recommend that you use the help of one of the culture performance leaders, or even using a colleague or a leader in your organization to practice those conversations. Next, we look for it to be a time to recognize achievements. We don't want you just to talk about the things that aren't going right, but also talk about the great things that they're doing good. Give an opportunity to your employee to really get some positive feedback as well as some corrective or opportunity feedback. Next, it's an opportunity to set or get track on goals. Sometimes employees complete the goals way ahead of schedule, and it's an opportunity for you to create some new goals. The other part of it is, let's say someone has fallen off track. It's an opportunity to get them back on track by using clear communication about what they need to do to get back on track. Lastly, we ask for it to be at least 15 to 30 minutes in length. This should be an opportunity for you to really connect with your employee and take the time to be with them. So in review, we look for this to be a two-way conversation between you and the employee, to be honest and make a connection, talk to an employee the way you want to be talked to, a time to recognize their achievements, set or get back on track with goals, and lastly is a 15 to 30-minute conversation each month. So the other thing we wanted to clear up was the possible confusion around the green, yellow, and red ratings. First, we want you to look at the employee's performance overall from the previous month. So in the green category, if an employee is performing at or above expectations, that is the kind of the good to great level. We want you to give them the green. Bear in mind, this may not be someone who's completed every single assignment that's been completed, but they have a clear and effective plan of how they're going to get it done, and the employee communicates timely of when issues do come up and solutions to those issues. Yellow is kind of an alert. This is an employee that's not performing to all their expectations. He or she may sometimes be late to work or with assignments. They're off track in reaching those goals, and they kind of have an unclear plan on how they're going to get those done. And an employee may not always timely communicate when things come up. So lastly is red. That's really a stop. That is a real grave concern conversation with your employee. This is an employee who has been consistently performing below expectations. They're regularly late to work or with assignments or work. They're off target and they have no plan to really complete them. They're an employee that never communicates to you timely when issues come up, and they have a negative attitude. So again, in review, green is someone that's good and great. They're someone that's performing at or above expectations. Yellow is someone that's not performing to all the expectations, and they don't have a huge clear plan as to how they're going to get back on track. Lastly is red. Those are people, remember, that we're having some great concern about that you need to work with immediately and make sure that they're really clear on that red level. So how do you prepare and conduct your meetings? We really look at it being a 5-step process in conducting these meetings. First, we ask that you schedule at least a 15 to 30-minute meeting with your employee and review their overall performance for the prior month. I want you to remember to look at them from the whole picture, not just bits and pieces. I want you to ask yourself questions like this. What's going well? Are there opportunities for improvement? How can I better support him or her as a leader? What was the rating that I gave the employee last month? Out of those questions that you ask yourself, you should be able to determine their rating of a green, yellow, or a red level. Remember, it's green is good to great, yellow means an alert, and red means stop. Lastly, you're going to have these meetings with your employees, and I want you to ask questions like this. Are you on track to meet your goals? Is there something currently keeping you from your goals, and what is your plan to resolve this? What are your successes, and what do you need to resolve, or what do you need support and development on? So now we're going to move into how we use HRP to collect the monthly ratings. The first is that you're going to go to the HR Pyramid website. For those of you who aren't aware, we have actually moved to the cloud, so our previous address has been changed to this one that you see here. And that, once you click on this address, you're going to go to Manager Login. And your username is going to be in all caps, capital M, capital G, capital R, plus your first initial, plus your last name. So the example that we give below is M as in Mary, G as in girl, R as in rabbit, B as in boy, B as in boy, O, C, K. That will be the username for the specific manager. And then your temporary password is capitalize your last name and then the year of your birth. So as you can see here, it's capital B, O, C, K, and 1900. We recommend that after you log in for the first time, you change your password to make sure that you protect your information. Additionally, this login will take you specifically to the performance feedback area. If you attempt to log into HRP and you receive this message, we ask that you reach out to Gwen Lemming. You can see her information here, as well as the last slide of this presentation will give you her information again. She will be able to help you out with HRP administration issues that you may uncover. So once you get to the main screen, you will see your company logo and branding. Because I'm a SIG employee, but we are folded into the Loris logos, for the duration of this training, you're going to see the Loris Strategies logo and information. However, if you're a UPG or Course of Care employee, you're going to see your corresponding information. On the left-hand side, you're going to click Employee Review and then Performance Feedback Tracking. You will see a list of your direct reports, and from here, you'll click on the month that you want to conduct the review. As you can see here, you'll see your list of employees, and then you'll go to the corresponding month to put that information in. From this screen, you will select the rating and add any additional comments and click Save Changes. All monthly reviews and notes will be locked once we turn over a new month. So for example, this is the month of June. It would be required that you put in the information for your employees for your feedback by June 30th. As of July 1st, it will be locked for editing. Additionally, we want to remind you that if you type information in and save it, it will be visible to your employees, as well as it will be included in his or her employee record. So bearing that in mind, we want you to be conscious about the information as well as the ratings that you give your employees, knowing that this will become a part of their permanent record. Lastly, if you give someone a yellow or a red score, we ask that you include notes in below where it says the rating comment that gives a clear plan as to what they're going to do to get improvement, as well as the reason why you gave those ratings. So once you save changes, the system will direct you back to the list of your direct reports. And as a reminder, you're going to put in the ratings that you gave your employees in the months of April and May, as well as June. So just this month until June 30th, we ask you put in the ratings you gave your employees for the month of April and May, as well as June. For those of you who did not get an opportunity to do reviews for either April or May, we just ask that we count June as the first time that you'll be moving forward. We're aware that we didn't have the tool that was necessary before to track and support you. So we just ask, if you haven't gotten the opportunity to do those other 2 months, to just move forward with the month of June. So in addition to your monthly ratings, you'll also be able to include notes about your employees' progress. You'll be able to do this by clicking on the little pencil from your direct report screen. And under this notes section, you'll be able to type in information at any time. Unlike the month where you put in the monthly feedback, this section will always be open for you to add or make changes at any time. And just like with the performance feedback area, your employee will also be able to see these notes in their area. Lastly, there is a simple export function into an Excel spreadsheet. From here, you can go ahead and click Generate Report, and it will be exported into an Excel spreadsheet. The spreadsheet will include all of the list of your employees and the ratings that you've given them over the course of the past year. Greens will be represented as a number 3, yellows will be represented as a number 2, and reds will be represented as a number 1. When you're ready to log out of the system, just go to the upper right-hand corner where it says Log Out of the System, and from here you will just click Log Out, and another box will pop up for you to click OK. And from that point, you'll be all set and logged out of the system. So here are the next steps. As you can see, over the last few months, we've gone from the goal setting process to the initial performance management feedback rollout to now we're at the point where we're starting to use HRP to track the employee ratings. The part I want to focus on the most is that we're going to continue to communicate and follow up with you on how things are progressing. We want to get your feedback because you are the persons that are utilizing the system, but more importantly, we want to be able to shape it and make it even more powerful tool for you to use as the year goes on. So to recap, we have some questions we want to make sure we answer again. So the first one is, how do you determine my employee's rating? Remember, you want to look at an employee's overall performance from the prior month. Secondly, where do I input my employee's rating? The employee review section of HRP. The third question is, what is the deadline for inputting my employee's rating into HRP? You must input your employee's rating into HRP by the end of the calendar month. Once the month has ended, it will be locked for editing. So remember, this being the month of June 30th, as of July 1st, it will no longer be available for you. The next question is, what do I do with the ratings I gave my employees in April and May? You would input those into HRP during the month of June. Remember, if you didn't get a chance to give employee feedbacks for the months of April and May, please go ahead and use June as your starting point. Lastly, will the 2014 ratings affect my employees' 2015 merit increases? While the performance ratings will be used for 2014 will be one of the tools that we'll use to determine 2015 merit increases, they should not be used exclusively. This should not be the only way in which you give merit increases in 2015, but just used as a tool. So if you have any questions or concerns, there's two different areas that we see that you could have questions around. First, it's understanding the monthly feedback process in general. We have Beth Bach, myself, Laura Murphy-Rizik, Lenore Litwin, or Taj Witt. We are the people who can help you understand the monthly feedback process in general. The other side of the coin is the HRP General Administration. You would want to reach out to Gwen Lemming. She would be able to help you with General Administration. For example, if you log in the first time and you get an error message stating that you don't have you don't have credentials, you would reach out to her. Additionally, if you log into the system and you see that there's people either on your list or no longer included in your list that should be on your direct report list, she would be able to help with that as well. So in conclusion, even though we have the HRP tool to help you with the feedback process of tracking the green, yellow, and red status, we want to further emphasize that the most important is making a connection with your employees to really get in the hearts and minds of them so that they understand not only the impact that they make to the organization, but how they can partner with you to better make our organization even that much better. So again, if you have any questions or concerns about the monthly feedback process, please don't hesitate to reach out to us as a part of the Culture and Performance team. And if you need help in the HRP General Administration area, Gwen Lemming would be able to help you with that. Thank you so much for listening and watching today, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day.